all the citizens to speak not in a derogatory way and to be calm and organized.
Yeah, I'm Terry. I'd like to include myself.
I'll let the citizens speak first.
Ma'am, you're running the meeting. I don't mean to indulge on that. But we just have a procedural objection, and we're going to be quiet and listen to everything else. I'd like to put that on the record first, if that's okay.
That's fine.
My name is David Hendrickson. I'm here on behalf of EQT along with Stephen Leeson. So I'm representing EQT. We would just like to place an objection on the proceeding going forward at all. We do not believe there's anything in the Dodgers County Commission floodplain ordinance which allows for this type of hearing and appeal. We think our floodplain permit was properly granted by the commission quite some time ago and properly revoked. And so we're here today to place an objection on the record for the county commission and to clarify our position that we think our floodplain permit is proper.
Joye Huff.
Well, the last time I was in the same room with Mr. Hendrickson, he got to go first. Really sort of chapped me that he got to go first again today. But I would like to point out his first objection was about procedures. And I honestly feel when you cannot defend the issue that's against you, the first line of defense is to get everybody distracted. We're not here to talk about procedures. We're here to talk about what the real issues are, which were the violations that occurred in trying to obtain that floodplain permit. I'm sorry, but Equitable got sloppy and they got careless and they got caught. There were numerous violations in regard to that permit. I do not, for the life of me, understand how you can now try to appeal to get that permit back because it's not valid. There's no way that they can walk in here today and use any documentations that's going to make it right. It wasn't done correctly. There were errors in procedures and violations, and the only proper thing to do was to revoke it, and the only proper thing to do now is to start all over. If Equitable wishes to reapply for a permit, there's nothing to say that they cannot do that. They certainly are entitled. We just need to do it properly this time and go through the procedures as they're laid out in the ordinance. I would also like to point out, I know you can't see them, and I hope you'll, before you leave the room, that you'll take the opportunity to do so. But these pictures are pictures of my property and of the adjacent landowner's property. And these floods have happened 3 times in the last 8 years. And that's without any drilling in the floodplain. If we put a massive well pad in the middle of the floodplain, it is going to obstruct the flow of the river, and it is going to endanger not only my property, but the adjacent landowner's property. And it's not right. That's not what the purpose of the floodplain ordinance is. The oil company just needs to find an alternative site, and we'll work with them. We've offered to work with them. They just need to follow through on it. The one thing that I would like to point out to Equitable, however, is if you're going to go through this process the second time around, you need to understand that we're not the same thing as the DEP oil and gas. We're not just a clearinghouse where you come up with all your papers and you get your permit. The purpose of the Doddridge County floodplain permit is to protect the floodplains. So if there is an element at risk after all the studies, after all the documents have been submitted, if there is an element of risk that this is still going to happen to us, only worse, then it is the responsibility of the floodplain administrator to deny that permit. That's the whole point of the ordinance, is to try to protect us. The only last thing that I would want to say is the county is at stake. The county can be put in harm's way. The landowners can be put in harm's way. And it's just inexcusable for an oil company not to work with us. We are the property owners. This is not just land, it's our homes, it's our livelihoods, it's our livestock, it's our crops, it's everything. And you shouldn't always be given priority just because it's convenient. Sometimes you have to go with what's not convenient in order to protect and to take into account the people with whom you're supposedly working. So that was the other thing I wished to say.